Hare Krishna. So we are doing the continuation in chapter 7, where Krishna, I'll just do a small recap so we all are on the same page. Krishna gives a very important instruction to Arjuna to please listen carefully, because he's talking about his knowledge. He's giving his knowledge, right? Because this chapter is knowledge of the absolute. Then he says, Tatshrinu, he says, Arjuna, you listen carefully. Because Krishna starts talking about his material and spiritual energy, and who out of 1,000 knows him in truth. Verse number 3, Krishna talks about that. And then he further goes on to say how he is the thread behind all the pearls that are hanging, how basically he is in everything. And then from then onwards, he starts telling Krishna that, I am in everything. I am the thread behind all the pearls. But there are people who are covered in the modes of material nature. For them, it's very difficult for me to know, for them to know me. And Krishna says they are living entities are covered with the modes of material nature, but I am not covered. And then Krishna goes on to say how he is in everything. The Soham api Sakanteya, then how is he ability in man, and he gives about good 20 to 21 examples of how he is in everything. And then he speaks about even after knowing about his opulences, there are people who don't surrender unto me. So Krishna gives 4 types of people who don't surrender unto him in verse number 15. And then he says in verse number 16, but there are people who surrender unto me. And he also gives who are those people who surrender unto him. And after that, he says, who is the best? Who is the best, Krishna says? Out of 4? Jnani. Jnani is the best, because he knows he has the knowledge of the Supreme. He knows that Krishna is the Supreme. So he says he's very dear to me. Then he says to Arjuna, why? Because as he's also always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. Not also he knows me in full knowledge, but he also engages in devotional service. Eka bhaktir vishishyate. In verse number 17, Krishna says to Arjuna. Then he tells Arjuna, don't feel bad, Arjuna, don't worry. But these all 4 who surrender unto me are all magnanimous souls. They are very magnanimous. Udara sarva evaite. But he says, again, Jnani is very dear to me, the one who is in knowledge of me. How we can understand this? For example, a mother has three kids, right? And out of 3, one who's always very caring, some comes and gives a hug to mom always and tells, Mom, what do you want? How can I help you in the housework? Generally very expressive. Always a mother will have like, okay, he takes care of me, or she takes care of me so much. Same way, like, for Jnani, because he knows the Supreme well so well, he serves him. So it's not that the other 3 are not great souls, or Krishna doesn't approve of them. But he says, Jnani is very dear to me. Similarly, for a mother, all her 3 kids are very dear. But this one is special because he comes and he hugs me, he cares for me and everything. So Krishna is saying that Jnani, that's why he's very dear to me, because he knows me. So then in verse number 19, Krishna says, is a very important verse, Bahunam Janmanamante. He says, after many, many births, this Jnani who comes to the understanding of the knowledge of the absolute, and he surrenders unto me after many, many lifetimes. Actually, the Krishna says he knows me, that I am the cause of all causes, and that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such souls are very rare, Krishna says. And then he always glorifies the devotee to the topmost level, that he is very dear to me, the one who knows the knowledge. Now he is going in verse number 20, 1 level down. He says, people who are intelligent worship me, and people who are less intelligent, they worship the demigods. So Krishna says, they surrender unto me, who? The intelligent people, and who are less intelligent, they surrender to the demigods. And who are demigods? Krishna says, they are my administrators, right? They are my part, but they are my administrator. They surrender unto my administrators. So those whose intelligence is, I'm talking about verse 20 still, those whose intelligence is stolen by illusion, desire to surrender unto demigod. And those who follow demigods worship has to follow certain rules and regulations. So when you worship demigods, they have certain rules and regulations that they have to follow for that particular demigod. Like for example, during the month of Shravan, we worship Lord Shiva. Everybody in India worship, and Lord Shiva likes when he's offered Bilpatra. Like similarly, Lord Ganesh, he likes Dhruva grass. When his puja is happening, we offer Dhruva grass to him. He likes that modak. So particular things the demigods like. So according to the nature of the human being, which nature they are in, mode of passion or ignorance, they will worship that particular demigod. Now we are coming to verse number 21 for today. So here the question is that how come these people get faith to worship the demigods? How come these people, Krishna already mentioned that less intelligent people worship demigods. So how, and intelligent people worship me. But how these people are getting the faith to worship the demigods, and who is giving them the faith? So Krishna speaks this in this verse. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhakta shraddhayarchitam ichhati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tam eva vidadami aham. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhakta shraddhayarchitam ichhati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tam eva vidadami aham. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhakta shraddhayarchitam ichhati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tam eva vidadami aham. Word to word translation. Yah, whoever. Yam, whichever. Tanum, form of a demigod. Bhakta, devotee. Shraddhaya, with faith. Architum, to worship. Ichhati, desire. Tasya, to him. Achalam, steady. Shraddham, faith. Tam, that. Eva, surely. Vidadami, give. Aham, I. Translation. I am in everyone's heart as Supersoul. As soon as one desire to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. So I won't read the purport, we'll go straight into the explanation. So now Krishna is elaborating here that how he is giving the faith to those people who want to worship the demigods. So what does Krishna say? Shraddhayam architam ichhati. As soon as the person desires, as soon as that person does the ichha to worship some demigod with faith, with shraddha, what happens? Tasya tasya chalam shraddham tam eva vidadami aham. So Krishna says, I make that person's faith steady, and so that he can worship and devote himself to that particular demigod. So who is giving the faith to worship the demigods? Krishna is giving the faith to worship, because we all know in the purport also it's mentioned that not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. So Krishna is the personality who is giving the faith to worship the demigods. So if a person desires to have material enjoyment and want very sincerely to have such facility from the demigods, the Supreme Lord who is sitting in everyone's heart as Paramatma, facilitates to fulfill his desire. He does not interfere with the independence, but gives all the facilities to that particular devotee to fulfill his or her desire. So, what an amazing Father we have, and a loving Father we have. Whatever we desire, even if we desire not to worship Him but to worship a demigod, He is giving us all the facilities to worship that particular demigod. He sees how strong our desire is. And as soon as that desire becomes very strong, no, I want this thing, I want a car, I want a bungalow, I want this contract, I want that. As soon as you desire it very intensely, then what does Krishna do? As a sanctioner and as an overseer, because he's the one who's going to sanction and he's the one who's overseer, Anumanta and Upadrishta, he will sanction depending on our desire. Anumanta is sanctioner and overseer is Upadrishta. So the beauty is that Krishna he has not given us forceful disposition. Oh, you have to worship me, you cannot worship demigods or like that. He has not given us that. He has given us minute independence to fulfill, to do whatever we want. He has given us that free will. And we all know that we've been hearing that Krishna has given us that free will. And we have to choose how we use that free will, that independence that He has given us. Krishna has no problem. Krishna says, okay, no problem. You don't have to come to me. It's okay. You can go to anybody you like. Krishna, again, it's very liberal. It is your choice. So actually, if you go to see, all the desires are fulfilled by Krishna. And Krishna says, I will help you to fulfill the desire, because He says, I will make that person's faith steady and I will make all the facilities for that person to worship the demigod. So one thing we have to understand, that the demigods are administrator of Krishna. They are also not independent. They cannot give us any benediction without the will of the Lord. So because Krishna, only when Krishna sanctions, the demigod will give us. We'll pray to that demigod, demigod will go to Krishna, then he will say, okay, Krishna, Lord, can we sanction this desire of this particular devotee? Krishna says, okay, then the demigods will sanction that desire for us. So they are also fully dependent on Krishna. So what is that one thing that Krishna keeps for himself and the demigods, even the demigods don't have that right? What is that one thing?
Bhakti.
No, bhakti, yes, but there's one thing that Krishna reserves the right for himself, and even he does not give it to demigods also.
Liberation.
Yes, mukti. Mukti, correct, Prabhu. So, mukti, that's why Krishna is called Mukunda, right? Giver of liberation. We have to understand that even demigods are not liberated souls. Demigods are not liberated. Whenever that age comes, like whenever the age is finished, that they will actually also die, and someone else will take their post. Demigods' age, as we know, in our 1 year is equal to their 1 day. But like, for example, Lord Brahma is very, very old, and Lord Indra will have his own age. Lord Ganesh will have his own age. So they all have their own ages. Like we human beings, we live up to 80, 90, whatever. Dogs live up to 16, 17. Ants they have their different age. So everybody has a different age. Nobody is fixed that everybody is going to live up to the age of 80 or 90. Same way, even demigods have different ages. They also have their own ages, and after their age is done, they also die. And what is common from Lord Brahma to the insignificant ant is that they all die, and they are all under the material world, from Brahmaloka down to all the way to Patal Loka. But Lord Krishna is the only one who never dies, because Lord Krishna has no beginning and no ending. So someone who has no beginning is not born. Someone who has no ending doesn't die. He is Anadir Adir Govinda. Lord Brahma says in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Like if Hiranyakashipu asked Lord Brahma, right, for boons, he did tapasya, and then he asked Lord Brahma, give me so many boons. He asked, I don't want to die, day, night, in, out, of so many. And in one of those boons, he asked, can you give me liberation? And what did Lord Brahma say? How can I give you liberation when I myself am not liberated? How can I give you 1 million when I don't have 1 million rupees on my own, right? So you cannot give something that you don't have. So Lord Brahma says, how can I give you that boon? So demigod is a post, which I also didn't know until I came to ISKCON and I studied Bhagavad Gītā and Shastras, started studying. Demigod is actually a post. Jai Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. It is mentioned in the Ramayana that when Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati were getting married, Lord Ganesh went to their wedding. How can we understand, oh, Lord Ganesh is Mother Parvati's and Lord Shiva's son, how can he go to the wedding? But actually Ganesh ji is a post, Lord Indra is a post, Lord Brahma is a post, and different demigods take the post according to their tapasya that they do, they take the post. And but that time we have to understand, when they were getting married, there was someone else on the post of Ganesh ji. He went to the wedding, not Ganesh ji. So Ganesh ji is a post. Like for example, Prime Minister is a post, President is a post. People change, right? So you can't say so and so Prime Minister is a person, you know. Prime Minister is a post, President is a post. Same way, all the demigods, Lord Ganesh, Lord Indra, so and so, they are all a post. And when their time is finished, someone else takes their post. So Vyasadeva in Canto 1.1.1, he says, Lord Krishna is the creator, maintainer and annihilator. Directly or indirectly. How we can understand this? Because sometimes if there is no one capable of taking the post of Lord Brahma, Krishna becomes Lord Brahma himself. Means he takes the post, okay, I'm going to be Brahma and I'm going to start creating. So he directly becomes the creator. And when the time of annihilation comes, he tells Lord Shiva, okay, now you have to do your Tandav dance and I'll annihilate. So Lord Shiva will do the Tandav dance and Lord Brahma will start recreating. That is his indirectly. Indirectly he's telling Lord Shiva, he's not directly doing it, he's telling Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma now to create. So we have to understand that demigod is a post and that they are also not independent. Actually, demigods feel embarrassed when we pray to them, and they are also banging their heads in Swargloka. Oh Manushya, why are you worshipping me? You directly worship to Lord Krishna, because anyway you are worshipping me or whatever you are asking me, I have to anyway go to the Lord, ask his permission and then come back and then give it to you. So you are actually making my work, our work very long. You directly worship him. Like they feel embarrassed that they should be worshipping Krishna, and why are we being glorified? Like we can understand this with an example, like if Prime Minister comes to Hong Kong, Indian Prime Minister comes to Hong Kong, and we are hosted a big program for him, and of course CM is also here, Chief Minister of Hong Kong is here. Now some well-known people of Hong Kong has to go and offer garland, to the Prime Minister. But they start offering it to the Chief Minister on the stage, and the Chief Minister will be saying, why are you offering it to me? He feels embarrassed. You should be actually offering that garlands to the Prime Minister, not me. Same way the demigods say, offer whatever, or you offer to the Lord, not to us, because anyway we have to offer it to him. So we can understand this with an example like that. If sense gratification is what is going to trap us in this material world, then why is he allowing us to do sense gratification? Sense gratification is sense enjoyment. Why has he given us the facility of independence? Many people ask this question, why, if Krishna didn't want us to do this, why has he given it to us? We have to understand that Krishna as super soul, as Paramatma in our heart, he gives us a facility. If there is no independence, there is no love, right? Because we cannot bind someone. We have to give them the independence because we love that person. So Krishna has given us the independence that, okay, whatever you want to do, you have the free will to do. But whatever you do, whether it is good or bad, then you reap the fruits of that actions that you are doing. Because Krishna says, I have nothing to do with your karma. Karma, you are binding yourself. You are doing good karma, you will get good. You will do bad karma, you will get bad. I have nothing to do with that. Good karma will take you to higher planets. The bad karmas will take you to lower planets. It's very simple calculation he has. And Krishna doesn't interfere in that. So when I was in school, I was in a convent school, and once a week we used to have a free period. Okay, 1 hour, you can do what you want, no study, like whatever you choose. So there were some girls who would get together and finish off their homework, or do extra studies. And there were some girls who would play football, basketball. And there were some girls who would just waste their time chatting and gossiping and all, convent girls' schools. So the girls who are actually finishing off their extra studies were better than the girls who were wasting their time. So the free will was given to us to do whatever you want in that period. So some chose to do extra studies, and some chose to waste their time. And then they will get the girls who have done their extra studies, they will be next week ahead in their class in that subject. And the girls who had wasted their time talking, it's like, oh, we still have to catch up on this, something like that. So, and even like when we are giving exams in the question paper, we get the question paper in our exams. Does the teacher or an examiner come and tell us what to write? No, we have the free will what to write. So what we write, according to that, we will get our results. So marks, yes, you will get your marks. So if you don't write, you get a big anda, 0. Bharti knows. So same way, Krishna is witnessing everything. What activities we are doing, what we are thinking, what we are feeling, whatever. Krishna is seeing everything. But still, he doesn't interfere. He said, I've given you the free will, you choose, you decide. Sometimes some situations happen in our life and we say, oh, Krishna should have not let this thing happen to us. Right? We say that, oh, Krishna shouldn't have let these things happen to us. We've come to this understanding of Shastra, so we have realized. But there was time when I myself said, oh, Krishna, you shouldn't have done this. You could have done something better, or this is not what I wanted. But again, because Krishna has given us the free will, and whatever we did, we got the results of those actions that we did. So like when our kids are growing up at the age of 19, 20, we stop interfering in their lives, right? We don't go on pestering them, oh, did you drink your milk? Did you do your homework? Did you go to this class? Did you go to that class? No, we have given them the independence that, okay, you are on your own, not on your own, but you are now, in your teens, 18, 19, you can decide, I don't have to keep on telling you. So Krishna doesn't keep on telling us. He's given us the free will. Now, this is very important to us to understand that Krishna has given us the free will out of love. How do we use that free will? And that's why so much emphasis is given on this free will that Krishna is, talking about in this verse also. So even I also have teenager daughters. I don't interfere in their life so much. I don't call them every day in London. Oh, are you okay? Did you eat well? What time did you go to university? No, they are independent now. They need to figure out how do they have to follow their routine. So Chanakya Pandit taught us something very nice, especially for parents, that from 0 to 5 you look after your children. From 5 to 15 you discipline them. So that means if you have to carry a stick, you carry a stick and you discipline them. From 16 onwards you become their friend. And when you become their friend, when you give them the confidence, they will actually start becoming frank and open with us. If you start continue teaching them, disciplining them, they might not like it, and they might not even tell us anything. When you become their friends, when you be at a certain age, when they are mature, they will open up with you, and they will also know how to balance. So a small a pastime of Arjuna I'm telling, when Krishna and Arjuna and all were in the forest. One time Krishna told all the 5 brothers, Yudhishthir, you go east, Bhima, you go west, Arjuna, you go north, and the other 2 to the south. I only remember Arjuna's pastime because that was very relevant to me. Arjuna, I said, whatever you see, and you just come back to me. So they all saw whatever they saw, and they all came back. And then, so Krishna asked Arjuna, he asked everybody, I don't remember the other 3, but Krishna asked Arjuna, what did you see? So Arjuna says, oh, I saw something very, very weird. He says, what? He says, a cow gave a birth to the calf, newborn calf. And the cow was licking her own calf, her own child. She kept on licking. She licked so much that, the newborn baby's skin is very soft, right? That the skin actually started peeling off. And I found it very weird that how, a mother can do this to her child, or to the cow can do to the calf. So Krishna says, I'm showing you what it is going to be like in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, the parents are going to spoil their children so much that, the way the cow has peeled the calf of the skin of the calf, same way, the parents are going to spoil their children so much by giving them everything, by giving them all the facility. I also know someone whose parent calls the child in London, have you on the washing machine? He's put an alarm clock. Okay, now I need to tell my child, you have to put your clothes for wash. Some other parent I heard that he calls the child, her son, please wake up, it's time to go for your university. So it's like that. To that level, they are so much, spoiling their kids. One day, if that kid doesn't learn to put the washing machine on time, it's his loss. The washing machine is full, too bad, come back later. Or if one time he's late in going to university, too bad, he has to learn. But they spoil the children so much. They have all these fancy parties, 18th birthday, going to Dubai for 10 friends will go to Dubai. All this is just so materialistic, and this is not what the child wants. We have to give them devotional life. We have to make them understand that there is more beyond to all these things. And kids nowadays are also, they understand. They are so much Google savvy. They understand everything. So, and the best way how we can give a child that upbringing is by we practicing in our house devotional practices. By we doing everything right in spirituality, they will imbibe that, and at some point it will start working for them, and you will see that difference when they go to university. This is what my experience is. So I wanted to share this when we spoke about the children. So Krishna is the source of fulfilling our desires. If he does not want our desires to be fulfilled, it will not happen. Krishna has to sanction our desires. And sometimes Krishna knows, okay, this person's desire is not that is good. He will not give it to us. Especially does it with devotees, because devotees are very dear to Krishna. So he will not give us what we want. He will say, no, this thing is bad for you, Jagapāvani, you don't need to get it. So if he doesn't sanction, we will not get it. So Krishna does not, one thing we have to understand, he is not rejecting demigod worship. He is just saying the demigod worshippers are less intelligent. Krishna is not concerned with his glorification, he is concerned with our elevation. How can I elevate this person to come back to me? So Krishna gives full independence for us to worship any god, but his final instructions in Bhagavad Gītā is what? Mamekam, yes. Surrender, give up all religion and just surrender unto me. But what we are doing? we are pestering Krishna that I want this particular desire to be fulfilled. And what Krishna does? Okay, I will sanction it. So what's the kindness, the compassionate and merciful nature of Krishna? We are rejecting his desire of abandoning all the religion and going back to him. And what does Krishna does? He goes against his desire that he wants from us, and he's sanctioning us our desire, what the living entities want. That is the mercy of Krishna. Krishna is very happy when the demigods are glorified. It's not that Krishna is upset that you are glorifying demigods. No, he's very happy. If in a company some client comes and he gives a feedback to the CEO of the company, oh, your team was very nice, they were very hardworking, they delivered the goods on time, they were very good in communication and all. How will the CEO feel? Will he get angry? Why are you praising my team? You should be praising me because I am the CEO. No. He'll say, oh, my team's working so hard, my team is doing so well. In fact, I should give them more bonus, or I should give them a pay rise. It will make him happy. Same way, when we worship the demigods, Krishna is happy about it. But also Krishna says, you don't need to do that. But if you're doing it's fine, but you don't need to do it. You can directly come to me. So same way, Krishna is also happy when demigods are, and we have to understand the compassionate nature of Krishna. Any large-hearted person will allow his juniors to be glorified. So then when we say that not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord, then whatever humans are doing, that means it's not our fault. That means it's Krishna's fault, right? Because not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. So if someone does murder, stealing, meat eating, intoxication, it's Krishna's fault because it's Krishna's will, because not a blade of grass moves without Krishna's will. Is it true? Is it Krishna's will? But yes, but
This question arises
sometimes, right? So how do we understand this? So yes, it's true, nothing moves without the will of the Lord. Nothing. So let us take an example of a powerhouse. What does a powerhouse do? It supplies electricity, right? It supplies electricity to all the houses. If there is no supply of electricity, no matter how much tuck, tuck, tuck you do, the lights won't work. So no matter how many, the lights, it will not work. Now the powerhouse has given us the electricity. Same way Krishna has given us the independence. So what is in our hand is the switch, right? Electricity is Krishna has given from the powerhouse. So what is in our hand is the switch. Same way, how we use our independence that Krishna has given us, it's in our hand. It's not in Krishna's hand. He's already given us the independence. Now, if we feel cold, we switch on the heater. We get the benefit of being warm. If we are hot and we switch on the AC, then we get cool air. But if we feel cold and we are putting the AC on and we get sick, we get high fever because the AC was on, outside it's cold. Whose fault it is? Your fault, right? Our fault. Because we had the independence of, we have the independence of switching on and off the switch. We are on the wrong switch. So it is our fault. It is not Krishna's fault. So Krishna again has given us the minute independence, and with the knowledge, Krishna has given us the knowledge how to use that independence. Now, if we are going against his knowledge, then it is our fault. It is not Krishna's fault. A small pastime in one of the Puranas, it's mentioned, there was one Brahmana, again on the same line of using the independence, and so that Brahmana was living in an ashram, and he had he was growing his own vegetation, his own fruits, flowers, everything, and he was living in this ashram for a long time. And one time, while I was busy gardening the vegetation and all, a very weak and very like a morose cow comes, and she starts eating the vegetables and the grass that he was growing, that he had grown. And when he turns around and he says, oh, this cow has eaten a lot of my vegetables. So he takes a big rod or something and hits the cow. Now the cow was so weak that it fell and it died. Now a Brahmana doing a Gohatya it's like a no, it's a big sin. So when the news goes to Yamraj, someone telephones him that, Yamrajji, this is what happened. So Yamraj comes down and he says, dear Brahmana, what did you do? You killed this cow? He says, no, I didn't kill the cow. Indra did it. It's like, how? Because Indra is in charge of the hands, like sun and moon. Sun is in charge of the eyes. Different demigods are in charge of our different senses. So he says, Indra did it because Indra is the in charge demigod of hands. So I'm blaming Indra. I didn't do it. So Yamraj got bewildered and it's like, okay. He goes to Indra and he narrates this whole thing to Indra. He says, this is what happened. And now that person, that Brahmana is telling, Indra has to take my sin because he did it. His hands, he is given, it's his hands and all. So Indra says, no problem, I'll come with you. So they both go. They go in disguise as a Brahmana, and he goes to tell Brahmana, oh, Brahmana, you are living here, nice vegetation you are growing, you made this place so nice. We used to come here before on a walk. It was a jungle, wild grass was growing, but now look how nicely you made this place. Then the Brahmana gets very happy, like, yeah, I did this. I used to come in a cycle and I used to go to villages, see this area, go to the villages, get dakshina from everybody. I made this garden. I grew this vegetation. I grew this ashram, and I built this ashram. Sorry. So then Indra, after that I did happens. Indra and Yamraj comes to their original form, and he says, Brahmana, how come when it's your this thing I did, and how come killing of the cow you blame it on me? Right? So this tells us that what good we do, we will take the credit. But whatever bad happens, then what we do? It's Krishna's fault. So Krishna is giving us the facility to the living entities by giving them independence. Okay, you want to fulfill your desire, you can worship a particular demigod. So someone asked Prabhupada a question. What is the destination of someone who come to the temple but are not serious and they are not pious? Like sometimes people come to the temple, they are not serious, they are not pious also, but Srila Prabhupada says, what is our process is to make everybody devotees and take them back to Godhead. For people who, like Krishna says in verse number 19, Bahunam Janmanamante, they are already, it's very easy for them because they've understood the knowledge, everything. But for people who are less intelligent, may take many lifetimes to come. But what is our duty? Our duty is to connect them to the process of Krishna consciousness. They may take lifetime or they may take some lifetime, but they will eventually come to me. So the question then arises, which probably is everybody's question also, that if Krishna did not want demigod worship, he's not rejecting, but he's not encouraging us to do demigod worship, then why did Vyasadeva wrote Shiv Purana, all the Puranas and all the Vedas and all these things? Why did Vyasadeva write?
I had that question. I'm going to ask you.
So, so if the governor gives public some rules and regulations to follow, and if everybody is following it very nicely, do we need a jail or any detention center? No, right? Because everybody is following the rules and regulations very nicely. But government knows that somewhere someone is definitely going to break the rules and going to do something that is not right. So for them, they need a place to atone for their crime that they have done. So one Mataji was sharing with us that her grandson is studying in Finland, and Finland is such a safe place that nobody does anything there. There's no robbery, no stealing. Everybody's houses are not like locked in key, like how in India we lock our houses and go. Shops are open, and when the shopkeeper is not there, nobody breaks into it and all. So, people don't need to be punished. But now we have many immigrants coming. And because of that, there are a lot of, small petty thefts and, things like that are happening. So for them, now we have a detention center where they have to, get punished for their robbery or anything that they have done. So same way, Vyasadeva compiled these Puranas because he knew that everybody is not going to follow the path of Krishna consciousness. Everybody is not going to surrender unto the Supreme Lord. So, and it will not be possible for all of them to have a controlled life. When we have Krishna, we have certain rules and regulations to follow, right? For the Lordship. So he knew that the people cannot do that. So for them, he wrote these Puranas, he wrote these, so that gradually the elevation happens, that they worship Lord Shiva with all that Bili Patra and all, Ganesh Ji and all, whoever, Ganesh Puran, whatever, Devi Puran, whatever he wrote. It was for these people who kind of have not proper understanding of the Supreme Lord, but a gradual progression will happen when they start worshipping the other demigods. So he compiled these literatures according to the taste and nature of the human being. He knew in Kali Yuga how the human beings were going to be. So he gave them the choice. So just some last part. So Krishna says, okay, you have a desire. You can have a desire because human beings, we have desires. We can't say that, okay, I don't have desire. And we want to enjoy. But what Krishna is saying, enjoy it in a dharmic way. There are people who enjoy in an adharmic way also, I have seen. But Krishna is saying, remain in the rules and regulations and enjoy. Not just enjoy and just break all the rules and regulations of the Shastras, For example, if a boy and girl want to spend time together, the best is they should get married, because according to Shastra, you get married and then you arranged marriages happen and then they spend their life together. Like if you want to go buy a mobile phone, you're not just going to go to an Apple store and just pick up the mobile phone and leave. No, right? You have to follow the rules and regulation of that Apple shop, go and pay money and then buy the mobile phone. So, because a particular living entity wants to enjoy a particular material facility, the Lord inspires him with a strong desire to achieve that benediction from the particular demigod. So he successfully receives the benediction. So we have to follow the rules and the regulations. Krishna says in 15:15, Sarvasva chaham hridhi sanivishto matasmitir gyan apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart and from me comes remembrance, forgetfulness and the knowledge. So it's Krishna he already knows our material desire before we go and sit in front of him and we tell him what is our material desire. He already knows because he's sitting in our heart. Like a mother already knows what the child wants, right? Like for example, she and then Krishna allows that desire to be fulfilled. Same way, a mother will allow her child to go to watch a movie. Even the tickets are expensive. A mother will allow. Same way, Krishna will say, okay, you go enjoy your desire. I will sanction it. I will send you to that particular person and then you can get your desires fulfilled. And so in the Vedic literature, it is stated that Supreme Personality of Godhead as Super Soul is also present within the heart of the demigods. Therefore, he arranges through the demigods to fulfill the desire of the living entity. It's in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. So supposing I'm in Hong Kong and my daughter is in London and she desires to go and watch a show, which is a late night show. Now, I am not very comfortable to send her alone to watch a late night show in London. It's not very safe. So what I do, I will call up a friend of mine. Can you please do me a favor? Can you please take my daughter? Because she's desiring it so hard. Please, can you take her to watch this show? So I make that arrangement for her to fulfill that desire. So Krishna says, I, as a super soul, even in the heart of demigods, I am seated in their hearts also. I give them I arrange for them to fulfill the desire. So So the last paragraph says we have to understand that Krishna does not disapprove demigod worship. He just says we have to please do not take me wrong. Krishna says he does not disapprove demigod worship. He does not encourage it, and he says it's for less intelligent people. Even in Krishna, in chapter 3, Krishna says the demigods are my part, they are my administrators, they are my own self in the universal form. Krishna shows Arjuna all the demigods are in him. So Sukdev Goswami says, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. He says, Krishna says, if someone wants nothing, he should come to me. If someone wants something, he should come to me. And if someone wants liberation, come to me. Krishna is saying, come to me for everything. You don't need to go to anybody. And how to worship, how to ask? With tivrena, with great force. You worship me by devotional service. Like we go to supermarket. And in supermarket, you will get everything. But you don't need to go to an individual market to pick up milk. Okay, now here I'm going to pick up vegetable. In supermarket, you get everything. So same way, Krishna is like a supermarket. When you go to him for everything, Krishna says, just come to me. You don't need to go to anybody else. So like Mother Rukmini, she prayed to Mother Durga. Now, Rukmini Devi is Lord Krishna's wife, right? But she prayed to Mother Durga saying that I am paying my humble obeisance to you and your family, your two sons, your husband Lord Shiva. What did she ask Mother Durga? Give me opulence, give me this, give me that. What did she ask? She asked that may Lord Krishna be my husband, right? So with demigods also, we don't need to ask them for anything. Krishna already knows what our desires. Krishna already knows what we need. What we need to ask the demigods, please help me to progress on my spiritual path. Lord Ganesh, please help me to remove all the obstacles from my spiritual path. So may I be able to progress nicely. To Lord Shiva, how engrossed he is always in the meditation of the Lord. Same way we ask him to, give us that bhakti that he has for the Lord. So for demigods, we can pray to them for that. The other things Krishna is going to look after. Whatever material gains, whatever fruits we get, or whatever material opulence we are getting, actually we are getting it out of our karma. Whatever karma you've done in your previous life, you're bearing the fruits. So having a nice car, or having, a fit body, or having a big bungalow, or having all those opulences are from previous karmas. These life karmas we are still building. So Krishna is saying, just come to me. You don't need to go to anybody. And we should desire for Krishna to give us intense faith, and and speak to tell Krishna that I've been in this life, in this body for millions and millions of years at birth. Now give me some intelligence. And how do we get this intelligence? By reading Shastras, by reading Bhagavad Gītā, Srimad Bhagavatam, associating with senior devotees, learning from them how to get this intense faith to love Krishna, how to do his bhakti. Because how much faith we can develop is in our hand. How much bhakti we can do deeply, intensely, it's in our hand. It's not even in Krishna's hand. How deeply, intensely we want to do bhakti, it's in our hand. That right we have. So we should very sincerely, very dedicatedly, we should serve Krishna and do his bhakti. Krishna says, you water the plant, all the trees, all the roots, all the leaves, twigs, everything is water. You just come to me, I will fulfill all your desires. You don't need to go anywhere. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare.
Any question?
Yes.
Only one. I'm over time. It's already, sorry.
Demigods cannot give bhakti.
Yes, we pray. I said, no, we can ask Lord.
But mukti, no.
No, liberation is only Krishna, Mukunda. I said, no, we can ask the Lord Ganesh, please remove all the obstacles that come in our way while we are doing bhakti. We have so many obstacles that come. Our thoughts can go somewhere. We may choose to go to the temple, but oh, my friend has called me for a tea. Forget about the temple. I'm going for the. So many obstacles will come. We pray to Lord Ganesh to give us that intelligence. That please help me to, do my bhakti sincerely. So yes, for demigods, that's what we should be asking, and they'll be very happy when we ask that. Not all the material opulences, no, because we don't even know when we go to those material opulences, are they good for us also or not? They will give it to us, but are they good for us or not?
And you Mataji told that the Krishna is Ajanma, Abhokta. Then sometimes I read the Krishna book. He is lived in this earth 125 years.
Yes.
What is the meaning? Ajanma, Abhokta.
Krishna lived means he did his leelas here.
Leela.
But Krishna is spiritual. His leelas are spiritual. Krishna said,
This earth 5,000 years before.
yes.
He lived 125 years.
Yeah, because when he finished his whatever he had come to do to annihilate the miscreants, Krishna says, no, chapter 4, 7 and 8, Krishna says, right, why do I come here? Right? So he came to do those things because the demigods went to pray to him that, there's that on the earth, lot of sins are happening, please come. And Krishna says, don't worry, I'm going to come. And while actually Krishna comes to do Leela because his devotees want him to come and do Leela, the pastime, so they can relish. But when he's coming, these small things of, miscreants and all that wiping off, it's a side business for Krishna. So he comes, but he comes to do Leela, but he also says, the one who understands my pastimes, my nature, Janma Karma Chame Devyam, that person does not come back to this material world. We have to understand that Krishna's Janma is not material, it's spiritual. Krishna's all karmas are not material. Our karmas are material. Krishna's karmas are spiritual. So we have to understand.
But he lived in this earth.
Yes, 125 years. Yeah, and then when finished, he went back to spiritual world. Yeah. Okay.
I'll ask you later.
Yeah. Please, it's really time.
We can have a chanting, we can discuss later.
Okay.
Any questions? We are running out of time.
Okay.
Hare
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 Bye.
Prabhu. Ji Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakti Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram,